Hello, hello. If you guys can see or hear me, let me know. Hello, hello. Hello. Hi, Stephen. If you guys can if you can hear or see me, can you please write it down there, because in the comment section, if you can hear or see me, because this is, I read it the live. Cool, perfect, nice. Okay, so this is basically part 2 of the earlier version I did. This is, if you guys want to see the beginning of this episode, you go to part 1. This is gonna be part 2, because I think the connection was gone. I don't know what happened, but the connection was off all of a sudden, and I wasn't able to see you guys. So hopefully it's not gonna happen again. Hopefully the connection is back here, and let's just get rid of any malicious energies here. So for tarot, so this is part 2. Where I was at is the fact that tarot is a tool that can help you channel spirit. But this tool can only help you channel spirit if you have to realize first that it's your tool. You have to first realize that it's the tool for you. If it's not your tool, then you're gonna struggle. Even though if you learn it, you're gonna struggle learning it. It has to first be your tool to channel spirit, as I mentioned in the part 1 that was cut earlier. So first of all, you look at the cards, you see what you can channel from them, what you can, if they speak to you, you see the cards to see if they can speak to you. Here we have the universe card. You see if they can speak to you. You see if you can channel some messages from the cards, and if not, then maybe you should try something else. You should try to do rituals, or you should try to basically go to a different method of divination. And another thing that I want to add is that at that point where I went to Ina Witch's tarot workshop, and I was surprised. And I was very surprised about how I was able to read the cards without knowing anything about them. Then I decided to learn more about tarot. So I started doing readings for myself every day. I started asking questions, and I started to channel the spirit more and more through using tarot. And from there on, there was this huge leap in my life that just happened, where I decided to leave everything behind, to leave everything that I used to do, my career, my job, everything that I used to do. I decided to leave it behind and embrace the path of the magician, the path of the mage that I am today. I decided to embrace that, and I went for it. But the trigger for that was tarot. The trigger was tarot. So how long did it take you comfortable enough to start doing readings for others? Yeah, to do readings for others, it took about 1 year. 1 year of practicing every single day, every day, practicing every day, pulling cards every day, researching the meaning of tarot, researching the origin of tarot, researching the occult origin of tarot. What is tarot? Where does it come from? What's the meaning of the cards? I read for myself. I read for other people for free as well. So it was about 1 year of practicing every single day, every day. Like this Hermetic tarot deck goes with me everywhere, and it's always in my bag. I can pull cards at any point I want about any question. If I'm stuck, anything I want, I can use tarot. So it took about 1 year of practicing every single day. In the beginning, I used to I a lot of the practice I did was with the Thoth tarot deck. A lot of the practice I did with Thoth and this Egyptian deck that was given to me. So every day I would ask questions about different things, about the meaning of life, about existence, about the universe. And tarot is encoded with this kind of information. Tarot is encoded with alchemical information. For example, the Hermetic tarot deck. It's a Hermetic deck, and if you're into Hermeticism is the foundation of alchemy. Like what I mentioned in my previous video about the Emerald Tablet of Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus. Hermeticism comes from Hermes Trismegistus, the god of wisdom of ancient Egypt. And this deck is also the Hermetic deck. So all the Hermetic knowledge from ancient Egypt, from ancient Greece, is embodied within this deck. So when I was given this deck, I went and I bought this deck right away. And this is the deck that I used to practice, because it's embedded with so much information, alongside with the Aleister Crowley deck, alongside with the Thoth deck. Both of these two decks is what I use to practice every single day. Read for myself, read for others, research, read and research every day for 1 year. But first of all, I had to know that I had the gift of reading. First of all, I had to know that. I had to know that I was having this gift through the workshops that I did with Ina Witch years and years ago. So I had to first realize that oh, this tool is mine. And then I started the journey of studying tarot. Then I started practicing tarot. So first of all, you have to pinpoint if you have that gift or not. It's like someone who's born with an amazing voice. And you hear them, they're 10 or 12 or 13 years old, and they can sing. They have the gift of singing, and then they start practicing to sing. It's not the other way around, where you don't have the gift, but then you practice, you're going to struggle. You can do that, as I mentioned earlier. You can do that, but it's going to lead you to becoming an amazing scholar. Maybe you're going to write the best book about tarot, and that's fine too. You don't have to be a practitioner. But if you don't have that gift, you're going to struggle reading tarot more than the people who have the gifts. It's like, as I mentioned, it's like singing. It's like running. It's like playing some sort of sports. Like athletes, they're all born with gifts. Before they become athletes, they have the gift of the sports that they practice. And that's why they become world champions. So you have to brush up and work on the skill that you're born with already. So for you, if it's mediumship, if it's looking in a crystal ball and channeling spirit like that, and if you have that gift by looking at a crystal ball versus tarot, then maybe that's what you should practice. What was the most challenging thing for you when it comes to tarot? The most challenging thing, that's actually a very good question, because just like any tool, the challenges are always going to be there. But with tarot, the challenging part is when you read the cards. For example, you're going to read you're going to pull one card, and then you're going to pull another one, and then you're going to pull another one again. The challenge is always when you pull the cards, I can read them individually. I know the meaning, and I can read like the vibe of the card individually. But the biggest challenge is, how do you read the story from many cards? What if you have 4 cards? What if you have 5 cards? What's the story that you're gonna channel looking at this? What are you gonna say? And especially when someone is asking you about their love life or their career or connecting with demons, and they say, so am I connecting with my demons? Am I going to be successful in this business? And then you pull the cards and it's like this. So So how do you read this based on the question? That's the challenge. So it's you have to get little bits of information, bits of knowledge from one card, and then another one, and another one, and another one, another one, and then you connect them all. You connect the dots. So you have to be kind of a master of connecting the dots, if that makes sense. You have to know how to connect the dots. And maybe this card here has only one tiny detail for the rest of the message to be answered. But if you didn't pull this card, then you don't have that detail and you can't answer. You can't answer your client. You can't answer the person you're reading for. But then you pull this card, and then this card has that tiny missing detail, the missing detail that was there. And then you're like, oh, okay, the Ace of Pentacles. So, okay, so we have money, we have the beginning of something new. So it's the beginning. So some new money is going to come, and it's going to come probably from the career you're asking about. Oh, but it's reversed. That means this career is not going to get you the money you're asking for, you know? So it's to interpret the interpretation of many cards all together. But you have to do it. When you have a reading with a client, you're not going to take your time to think. It'd be like, so basically, so I think you just have to say it on this. As you're pulling cards, you're speaking. As you're pulling cards, you're speaking. Like whatever you pull, it has to be part of the message. So that takes practice. That is not a skill. That's practice for sure. That takes practice. It takes a while to get the hang of that, but it becomes very fun. It becomes very fun. It's even sometimes I do this game with spirit, with my guardian demons, and I take tarot and I'm like, okay, so I need to know this and this and this. And I just start pulling cards one after the next. Pull the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one. And then I try to channel the answers that are coming to me from my own demon that's present at that moment. But then I'm like, okay, but what about this? And I pull another card, and again. So you're just kind of like connecting the messages that come individually, one from the, just making sense of everything. So that's how it works. But tarot in general, it's a tool, and it deserves practice. But first, I highly recommend you to first know that you have that skill, and then you practice it, then you work on it, and then you become an amazing tarot reader versus a tarot scholar, someone who just knows about tarot. So, Lavender Magus, do you have any of us scared of channeling demons or daimons? Fear and doubt of spirit in general. There's nothing to fear. Well, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing. So before you channel demons, before you channel spirits, you have to be so certain and confident with your power, and your power has to be balanced. And it has to be balanced both with the dark and with the light. I have my book, my ebook, that's called How to Embrace Your Darkness. It talks about how to embrace your darkness. A lot of people who are scared to channel demons, it's because they lack the confidence of knowing who they are and embracing their own power. I'm going to give you an example. For me, for example, there's not a single demon, okay, or entity, or even, I don't care, who's going to be able to do something to me. That's how confident I am. Even I can even defy the gods. Even the gods, I can defy them, because I am my own God, and that's all I believe in. That's what I believe in. I am the highest demon out there. I am the highest entity out there. My soul is the highest thing out there, period. So the moment you embody that kind of confidence and you become so unshakable, like nothing can scare you or startle you, even if it's the most possessed person in the world. And then if they're in front of me, I'm not gonna nudge or shake or anything, and I'm not gonna be scared. That's how you know that. But by the way, that's how exorcists become exorcists. That's why I'm an exorcist myself. That's why I can exorcise malicious entities from places, from objects, from homes, from houses. That's why I can do it, because I'm not scared. You have to have, and that lack of fear, although it sounds weird, the lack of fear, it's not the lack of fear that comes from embracing darkness. It comes from embracing darkness. The more you embrace your darkness, the more nothing can scare you, because at the end of the day, this malicious, okay, sure, you want to connect to a demon and you're scared there's going to be a malicious entity attacking you. At the end of the day, if they try to attack you, you can just burn them, and that's it, with your power, with your own energy, right? With your own energy. So the moment you're so confident in your own energy, and you know that nothing can affect you but yourself. If there's something bad that's gonna come to you, it means you're inviting it. When I have sleep paralysis, the moment I say piss off, get out of here, whatever is there leaves. The moment I say that, the moment I say it. But the spirit or the demon or the entity, they have to sense that in you. They can sense it. You can say it if you want, but if they don't sense it within you, then they're not. They're probably gonna play tricks on you and harm you and stuff like that. But make sure you're always protected when you do your rituals. Make sure you call on the spirits that protect you first, and call on to them. And feel. It's always about feeling. As you're doing the ritual, do you feel something bad, or do you feel good? Do you feel calm? Do you feel at peace? Or do you feel threatened? If you feel threatened, if the feeling is negative, then it means that you're summoning something that's not good. Maybe you should stop the ritual. So it's all about intuition and feeling. How does it feel to you? How is that thing? And use tarot too. Use tarot. Tarot can help you with that. For example, before you do any ritual, before you can summon a demon into your ritual or any entity, you can use tarot and see what you're gonna get from spirit, because tarot doesn't lie. This thing does not lie. Let me tell you one thing: the amount of crazy things I was able to predict with this is crazy. You can avoid so many bad things in life if you know how to use tarot properly. It's a guide. It's the GPS of life. But yeah, that's the answer for that. And here another question from Jean-Philippe Stevenson. Can tarot tell us about things which we have no connection to? For example, if I ask about a crime scene that happened back in history, yeah, you can use tarot for that. You can use definitely tarot. I actually ask questions because I'm obsessed with history. I'm obsessed with history and the occult, and I know what we've been taught is a lie. Our whole history is a lie. A lot of it, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it is a bunch of lies, including the story of creation, including who created human beings. And trust me, I use tarot to ask some crazy questions about, for example, I have a thought, I channel some thought, or something gets downloaded in my head from spirit, and I'm like, was this, or was that? I kind of use it as a tool of confirmation, and I can ask about, like, for example, I don't know, I can ask, was, for example, King Solomon, did he actually use demons to help him build the temple? And I can ask tarot if that's real or not. I can ask, is actually was he pushed away by God, or he decided to leave because he rebelled and he was tired? He not tired, he was just like done with these other gods, because for me, I see them as two groups. There's two kinds. There's the gods that people call the archangels, the group of the archangels, and the demons, but they're all supernatural beings. So I ask questions about what really happened. I ask questions about, okay, if the Anunnaki were responsible for the creation of human beings, what kind of people were they? What kind of gods were they? Did they really like humans? Did they not like humans? About the flood. Why did the flood happen of Atlantis? Why was Atlantis real? Was Atlantis just one city, or was it a civilization that existed all across the earth? I use tarot to answer these questions, all of them. And it's such an amazing tool to answer history questions. It's so cool. I love it so much, actually. It's probably one of my favorite things to do with tarot. It's one of my favorite things. And sometimes the answers are so coherent with what shows up in the card. For example, you ask about the flood of Atlantis and you get a card that has water, and you're like, that's exactly what I asked about, So it's definitely something that can be used for that. Yeah. So for, is it true that Ars Goetia demon Belial hates? So here's the thing, like for the Lesser Key of Solomon, the Lesser Key of the book, the Lesser Key of Solomon, and the Ars Goetia that talks about the demons of Solomon and the demons. I share the origin of these demons in many of my videos. I have videos, you can go watch them in my channel called The Demons of Solomon, Their Origin. This stuff, there's so much mystery and misinterpretation, and even like there's even the people who created the demons, where they come from, the numbers of the demons, there's some truth to this. There's some truth. And these demons are real. Like Asmodeus is real, Baal is real, Lucifer is real. All of these demons are real. But the origin and what really happens and who they are, like the Ars Goetia, the Lesser Key, which is basically 5 books, and one of them is the Ars Goetia, and the whole thing is called the Lesser Key of Solomon, or in Latin it has another name called the Lemegeton. This was written by a human being. Okay? It was written by a human being. It's a human being who came and said, these are the demons of Solomon. So, are we just gonna go and believe a guy who wrote a book? I like to use my mind. The first Hermetic principle to all is mind. Always question, always be skeptical. The look of the demons, how they look like. For example, in the occult tarot deck, or they have and you can find these images of these demons all across the internet. Okay, they're just there. How these demons look like. Who drew them first? I'm gonna tell you who drew them. It was a French artist in the 17th century, and he drew them by request for the author of the book, The Infernal Dictionary. And the Infernal Dictionary is one of the first initial books that mentions the demons of Solomon before the Ars Goetia or the Lesser Key of Solomon. Before those books were written, the Infernal Dictionary was published first. Because I think the Lesser Key of Solomon came about 100 years after the Infernal Dictionary. The Infernal Dictionary was there first. And the author of the Infernal Dictionary, he was, I think, a French occultist. I don't remember his name. He requested this French artist to draw the demons' looks, how they look like. And then because Christianity was huge back then, it was like dominating Europe. It was people they on purpose did these grotesque looks for the demons. I'm going to share this with you. The demons in the Infernal Dictionary, and then eventually the Lesser Key of Solomon, the images you find online are horrendous. They're grotesque. They're disgusting. It's because they were interpreted. They were created from an artist's imagination. And he was like, okay, so Beelzebub, he is the prince of hell according to the Testament of Solomon. According to the Testament of Solomon, he is the prince of the underworld. What is he gonna look like? A fly. Yeah, we're gonna make it fly. So let's draw a gross looking fly. Like, excuse me? Like, what the hell? Like, Let's use our minds. Let's use our minds. Do you believe that the ruler of the underworld is gonna look like a gross fly? So we have to always keep these things in mind. You know, like these interpretations, they were done by religious people, by people from the church, and they did this on purpose to make people feel, you know, grossed out, or to feel people, oh, look at this, they look very gross. I'm not gonna research them. I'm not gonna go and research these demons because look at how they look. It's just a French artist. It's an artist from the medieval times who drew that stuff. You know, I can go and draw my own interpretation of Beelzebub, and it's gonna look very cool. And one day, it's one of my actually projects. I'm gonna redraw all of the demons of the Lesser Key of Solomon, and you guys will see how they're gonna look like, because it's gonna be a very different look. They're gonna look way more badass than any archangel you've ever seen, you know? So the story is that these demons and these archangels, they were all called daimons. So the Greeks called them daimons, and daimon only means divine supernatural entity. That's what it means. But throughout time, the church decided to take this word daimon, and eventually in English it became demon, and label it for the category that is said rebelled against God, you know? So it's like two parties, two political groups, you know, two political groups. One is led by God and one is led by Lucifer. And they were clashing. They were clashing against each other. We have this nowadays. Two countries going in war against each other. Two entities not agreeing on something. That's all there was to it. That's all there was to it. It's two different groups. And the groups that claim that they won, which are the archangel group with God, they're the ones who wrote history. They made religions. You have Judaism, you have Christianity, you have Islam, and they kind of did their own version, and they tried to look the other group so bad. They called them demons, and they gave the word demon a negative meaning. Even the ancient Greeks didn't have that concept. When it reached, the modern languages, the meaning of the word demon completely changed. It became something so negative, something so bad. So basically, they control the story to make themselves look like they're the good ones, and that these other party who rebelled are the bad ones. This happens nowadays. It's the same. It has happened before, and it's happening now. So when we talk about demons, they simply means supernatural entities, and they're probably better looking than the archangels. But we have these people in history who were drawing just random crap, because they were stupid. Of course they were stupid. They were stupid, and they drew random crap, and I get irritated every time I see the grotesque drawings of these demons. They're grotesque, you know? The demons did not look like that. They looked gorgeous. They looked so freaking cool. That's not how they looked. So this is something to always remember. Demons, they are not something bad. They're not something scary. They're identical to the archangels. They're made from the same thing. They're just two different groups. Just like humans. You have white people, and you have Asians, and you have black people, and you have brown people. It's the same thing. You just kind of have different criteria, if you will. That's all there is to it, you know? So the misconception is crazy with this demon thing. It's crazy, the misconception. It's crazy. And unfortunately, everyone believes that in their guts. They're like, demons, oh my God, the demons. Oh. It's like a demon can help you in your life much more than an archangel. An archangel probably would laugh at you, you know? So let's just get things in perspective all the time. And then why would Lucifer rebel in the first place? Unless this God was an asshole. Well, when your boss at your work, if your boss is an asshole, weren't you gonna rebel? Aren't you gonna like want to quit? When my boss was an asshole, I quit. That's how it's done, you know. So let's always use our minds. It's very as above, so below. Whatever happened back then, we still have it going on here. It's not that different. But religions have indoctrinated our blood. They really succeeded in indoctrinating us with in our bloods. It's in the blood. People believe so much in what the crap religion talks about all the time. They inhale it, they drink it. It's incredible how humans just love to believe in something regardless of its source. It doesn't matter where the source comes from. They just want to believe in it. And that blows my mind, because that's not I use my mind. I think, I do my research, you know? And I think the same should go for you, especially the gifted ones. If you're gifted, if you're skilled, if you can speak to spirit, if you want to read tarot, you have to start thinking like this. You have to start thinking like this, you know? And that's what I personally think. That's my personal opinion, you know? Yeah, for example, Lavender Magus, for example, when I saw Lucifer, he was very tall and had huge wings. Exactly. It's like what, you know, like if Lucifer was one of the highest entities out there, can you guys imagine how this dude looked like? And then you have these interpretations of some medieval like stupid artists. And we believe a medieval artist who lived in the 17th or 16th century, and we believe them hard. Oh, they draw the demons like that. That means the demons look like that. You know, like you know, it's kind of you know. so basically, for tarot, if you want to, tarot, the way it changed my life, it basically took me from, it was the trigger. There was a lot of things, just to go back to the main subject of this episode. Tarot took me from being this normal person, this super normal person that had everything amazing on paper, to this completely different person, completely different. And this was the trigger. This was the death. For me, I love the death card. The death card, the alchemical transformation. When you basically, when you kill the old you in the same reincarnation, you kill the old you by yourself, so a new version of you gets born. You kill it, and then you're reborn again. You know. So basically, that's how it works. You're this, and then you become something completely different. Your physique change, your mind change, everything you know change. Whatever you believed in before is not the same. And tarot did that for me. But I also had to, it was the trigger, but I had to make a choice. There was this moment where I had two choices. The universe put me with two choices. And with these two choices, it was either you stay on the normal path, you stay on this normal path and you do what you've been doing, and maybe things are gonna get better, and you're gonna make more money, and you're gonna do more work with bigger corporations, and you're gonna climb the corporate ladder and make so much more money and do everything that called the American dream. You know, you can do that. Or you choose this path of the unknown, where you don't know what the heck is gonna happen, and you're gonna follow the wind and see where it takes you. The wind of the universe. You're gonna follow it and see where it takes you. And you don't know where the money's gonna come from. You don't know where you're gonna live. Because I left even the country I was living in, I left it. and you're given this choice. And trust me, this choice is so like it. This there's two choices. One is the unknown, and one is staying where you are, but it's gonna get better. Trust me. Here, the kind of things that were offered to me were crazy. If any normal person hear what I had to say no to, they would think I'm a lunatic, like literally. The kind of offers that were given to me here in this path, the kind of offers that were given to me were unbelievable. But I said no to them because I had to choose the path of the unknown. Because nothing in this other path was fulfilling me. Nothing. Not my friends, not my family, not my surroundings, not the country I lived in, nothing. Nothing was fulfilling me. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. And I had to take the path of the unknown. The path of the unknown is represented by, I'm going to show you the Fool card, which is also one of my favorite cards, because only a fool does something like that. If you're not a fool, and a fool from a positive perspective, in a positive connotation, if you're not a fool as in like you're gonna leave everything that's amazing that's been offered to you that looks amazing on paper, you're gonna leave it and say no to it. That's how foolish you need to be in order to take the other path. So the Fool card, and here I'm trying to find it to show it to you in the Hermetic deck how it looks like. There we are. The Fool card here. This is what I had to become. So first of all, I was obsessed with tarot. I knew tarot was for me. I knew it was my tool. And then the universe gave me two choices. It gave me two choices. You're either gonna become the Fool, and see, the Fool is air. The element here, the alchemical element is air, because you follow the air, and that's what I did. You become foolish, and then you follow the air and see where it takes you. You see this air where it's gonna take you. And then the card that comes right after the Fool is what? Once you do the foolish thing and you follow the unknown and you follow the air, and you don't know where anything, you don't know where your friends are gonna go or where your money's gonna come from or whatever, you just pack up whatever you have and leave everything behind. Then card number one that comes right after the Fool is the Magician. Then you become the Magician. And that's why I call myself the Mage, the Alchemist, because I left everything behind and I decided to take the path of the unknown. And it's tarot that helped me do this. It's tarot that allowed me to do this. If it wasn't for tarot, I would have never done this leap. I would have never done it. I would have stayed where I was and probably die at 75 years old. I said it, this was a channel message. So probably if I kept doing what I was doing in my previous life, I think at age 75 I would die. That's it. I would have died at 75, and I would have lived a very unfulfilling, miserable, boring life. It's not for me. If others want to live that kind of life, it's okay. But for me, I chose this, and then eventually I became this right here. And then I was practicing tarot every day, the occult, reading, researching. Before even I started a YouTube channel, by the way, guys, when I started this YouTube channel to share everything with you. Before I even did that, I worked on myself. I spent a year just doing me, just reading for myself, researching for myself, reading for myself and for other people that I meet in my travels. I travel around the world, and sometimes I'm just eating a meal or I'm in a coffee shop and I would read for strangers that I don't know. I kid you not, for strangers that I don't know, because I'm there sitting, eating my meal, and someone comes to me and they're like, "Oh, is that tarot?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting. Do you read tarot?" And then I go like, "Do you want a reading?" And I read for free to them. And one thing led to the next, and that's how slowly but surely you become very comfortable practicing your craft. And then you can read for anyone you want. You can read even for the king and the queen. If the king of some country comes to me right now and they want a reading, I'll give them a reading without any problem. I'll give a reading to anything. I can even give a reading to a spirit. If a spirit manifests in front of me and they want a reading, I'll give them a reading, you know. I mean, a tarot reading, you know. So yeah, Lavender Magus here. Yeah, spiritual awakening hits when you realize these things are real. Yeah, and for years and years, in my early journey, like I always wondered too. I always wondered, and I was skeptical. But then, the more I did my research, and the more I delved into this path that I just mentioned earlier, then this whole world opened up to me. This whole universe opened up to me, and you start also experiencing very supernatural things and paranormal experiences, and spirits connecting with you, and poltergeists and ghosts, and you start feeling spirits and seeing things. Because when you're distracted with your normal life and you go to a job every single day, you're not going to see any of these things. You're not going to see them because you're very distracted. Your mind is always at the work, at the job, at saying yes to your boss, at fulfilling the tasks of the daily tasks. So your energy goes just there, and then you're not intuitive. You're not feeling spirit. You're not feeling it because you're distracted during the day. You're distracted all the time. You know, do you have any tips for people who want to become professional tarot readers? Yeah, for sure. If you want to become a professional tarot reader, honestly, this is what I'm going to tell you. First of all, if you have the gift of reading tarot, if you can look at a card and the card open up a portal for you. First, I really, for me, I think maybe not all of you want to hear that, but I think that can make you a badass reader, you know? So first of all, take a tarot deck that you're attracted to, that you love. See if the card opens up something to channel spirit. That's one. Number two, start reading tarot every day. Every day, I don't care. Every day. Every day, at least practice 1 hour. I said at least. So we're talking about anything from 1 hour to 4 hours every day. Every day, all you do is you're looking at the cards and researching and finding information, numerology, symbology, sigils, alchemy, hermeticism, occult knowledge, secret societies. Definitely some, I want to mention some individuals which you need to check. So we have Eliphas Levi, Aleister Crowley, Helena Blavatsky. I'm trying to see if I missed someone. But these people are unbelievable. You can check even more ancient people who addressed tarot specifically, but I don't want to confuse you too much. Like I don't want to go back all the way to Agrippa, and then you know there's many occultists who have addressed tarot. But check Eliphas Levi. Eliphas Levi. He's basically the godfather. He's the godfather of what we know about tarot nowadays. He's the godfather, you know. Check his books, read his books, research, write your notes, reading every day, reading every day. Read for strangers. Start by reading for your friends and family, and then you have to move on and start reading for strangers. And I know that's hard. That's very hard. But it could be, I can give you an idea. It could be a friend of a friend. So go to your friend and tell them, can you please introduce me to your friend and I can give them a reading for free? And this friend's friends, you can't know them. You can't know anything about them. And then you guys meet either at a coffee shop or meet at a park or anywhere and give a reading for free to that stranger, to your friend's friend, and see what they're gonna say. Was it accurate? Was it coherent? Was it helpful? Just practice. And when you feel you get to a point where you're very comfortable reading for strangers, then you start charging. You can work for an occult store. You can work for a spiritual store. You can go to your city and see where are the venues, stores, exhibitions, parties, You can even suggest reading in a cafe. You know what's how cool of an idea is to go and read in a cafe. You know, you can go to a coffee shop. Like you're not gonna go to like a Starbucks or something. Go to something that's more that's privately owned and say, hey, I offer tarot readings. Do you have an opening, for example, an event on Wednesday from, I don't know, from 4 to 8 p.m., 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., and I can do tarot readings from you, and whatever I make, we can split it in half. And then I give you half of what I make, but I use your coffee shop to that gives you advertisement, it gives you publicity, it gives you, people start knowing more about you, you know, and start by charging low, and then start increasing it little by little by little by little. Start at first charge a very small amount and do readings for a short period of time. Do 15-minute reading, 20-minute reading, and then slowly start, you know, expanding, charging more, giving 30 minutes reading, giving 1 hour readings, giving 3 hours reading. You know, like, I don't know, not 3 hours reading sounds crazy, but why not, you know? So it's all about practice. But if it has to be your element, it has to be your thing. Because if it's not your thing, you're gonna do it for 1 year and you're gonna get tired of it. You know, you're just gonna be like, okay, this is not for me anymore. I don't want to do this anymore, you know? So you have to make sure that it's something you can do for free. It's something you want to do for everyone at all times, at any time of the day. And then you know it's your tool. And then believe me, before you know it, people are going to pay you big buck for it before you know it. If it's your thing. If it's your thing, people are going to actually pay you good money to read for them. And that's how you know you're the real deal. But first of all, practice, 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 just like with everything in life. It's a lot of practice. So tarot has become your main tool. It has become your best friend. It has to become the one thing you can't live without. And once you do so, then the universe will align you properly to where you need to be, or, you know, it's going to give you the people that are going to help you along your journey. So yeah, that's what I have to say. So yeah, like basically, this is for tarot is one of these spiritual tools that that we're lucky to have. People used to, like, let's just remember that people actually hid this in a card game. And the first tarot deck, the Tarot de Marseille, the Marseille Tarot, before the 22 major arcanas were included, it was just a card game. People went into a lot of hardships to hide this knowledge, so us now in this era can benefit from it. So I have a huge respect for people in history who did that. Huge respect. And being scared from the Inquisition, from these people that will torture them or kill them just because they want to share ancient wisdom from ancient Egypt, because it comes all the way from ancient Egypt. Can you imagine the church is after you to burn you because you want to share wisdom? It's hard. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And I'm so grateful for the people who did that, and I have a lot of gratitude for them. So if you feel the same for tarot, then you're going to learn to respect it even more, you know? So like, it's not for everyone. Again, it's not for everyone, but you know, if it's for you, you will know it. Because for me too, it's like I just knew that it's mine. The universe guided me towards the point where I knew this was my tool. At some point, I just knew it. You know, no one told me you're gonna be a tarot reader. I just knew it. So for you too, you're gonna know if it's your tool. So we're hitting. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you guys have any question, ask me. I can answer you in the comment section. If you have questions, not readings, questions about tarot or how to become a professional tarot reader or anything like that. And if not, I'm gonna wrap up the session here. John Philip says, "Is the moon card always bad? How can it be good?" The moon card is not always bad. There's no major arcana that's bad, in my opinion. No major arcana is bad. It's always the the meaning can be interpreted with upright and reversed, right? So if you have the card upright, then usually the meaning is positive. Not always, but usually. And if it's reverse, it's negative, uh, but it can be the opposite as well. Sometimes upright can be negative and reverse can be positive. So first of all, it depends on the question. It depends on what do you want to know. That's number one. Number two, when the moon card comes in that situation, what does it represent in that situation? It can mean like that your fears or the darkness that you're scared of. But at the same time, for me, the moon is beautiful. The moon is what makes the night exciting. Some people are night owls. They love the night. They become more productive and energetic at nighttime. And that's represented by the moon. And in the moon card, I remember the moon card in the Aleister Crowley deck, in the Thoth deck, there's Anubis there. And I love Anubis. Anubis is one of my favorite deities out there, you know? So you have to always interpret, what if this moon card comes for something that has to do with embracing your darkness and it's upright? It means that, yeah, you have to embrace your darkness. Or if it comes for a question that, hey, am I supposed to practice this thing at nighttime? Am I supposed to do it during the night? And then the moon card comes. And then for me, I see it as like, oh, it's a confirmation to do it at nighttime when the moon shows up, you know? So it's not, it depends on the context of the question and the context of the answer. Because yes, it can represent your fears. If it comes for something that you're trying to do, and then it's going to be like, well, you have to overcome your fears, you're scared. But always look at the card, see the deck you have, what's the imagery in there? The imagery was put there for a reason. And especially with the decks like a Hermetic deck, the Thoth deck, you know, the Rider-Waite deck, these are decks that have been studied and analyzed, and people spent decades on making them, not just 1 year or 2 decades. So they're rich in wisdom and knowledge. So every major arcana has so much to it. It has a whole story to it. So see what the card has to say. If you feel like you can't see it in the card, research it. Go online. See what people say about the moon card. What does it really mean? Is it always bad? Is it always good? But I would always recommend you to follow your intuition. When that card comes, what do you see in it? What do I see? What is it that comes to me when I look at the card? And that's how you know the answer. But it depends on the context of the question that's been asked for the tarot. That's the answer I have. So what was your best and worst tarot reading ever? My best and worst, my worst tarot reading. I don't think I've ever had a bad tarot reading. The worst tarot reading, the bad tarot reading I have is when I ask a question and I'm talking for myself, because for clients I'm what's the word? I'm disconnected from the tarot. I become the channel only. So meaning that when I read for clients, for other people, I am not there. That's not my job to be there. So for me, good, bad, I tell you what the cards say. If the card says something positive, it's for you. It's not for me. If it's negative, it's for you. So for me, your spread that I'm going to do for you might be unbelievable and it's going to be crazy, but it's for you. I have nothing to do with it. For me, it's kind of like I'm disconnected. I'm just the channel. I'm just the reader. That's why we're called tarot readers, because we just read. But I can tell you about the worst tarot reading I've had for myself, basically, is when I expect the answer to be something that I want, but then spirit gives me something else, which is not what I want, and I don't like it. But that rarely happens. But it's there's always a reason for it. There's always a reason. But I sometimes have to keep asking more and more and more questions to explain why that is happening or the reason for it. But there is no, honestly, for me, the best reading and the worst reading is I take tarot as something that's so natural to me that whatever comes. It doesn't put me through any emotions. It doesn't give me happiness or it doesn't give me sadness. It's just something I use to fulfill myself. For me, it's all about fulfillment. I feel like it's my calling to read tarot in this lifetime, and I do it. And as I'm reading tarot, I feel good. I just feel good when I'm reading tarot. It's just a good feeling. That's so if that makes sense. Eleven Rise. Can astral parasites get attached to tarot? Astral parasites. I'm not sure what you mean by astral parasites, but you probably mean malicious entities or negative entities in the astral realm. Can they be attached to tarot? So they can be attached to tarot as much as they can be attached to this. So the political correct answer is, I would say yes. But at the same time, I would want to remind you that your deck is your deck. And this goes back to this question earlier I had about demons, if being scared of demons. And if your deck has your energy in it, if it's full of your energy and your energy is powerful and you're confident and you're unshakable, then I guarantee you there's not a single parasite or bad spirit. There's not a single spirit these parasites, they're gonna be scared of you. They're gonna be scared to come to your tarot. They're the ones who are gonna be scared. So it's all about your energy, because this tarot, this tool belongs to you at the end of the day. It belongs to you. Maybe if I'm gonna use the tarot deck of somebody else, maybe that tarot has some sort of negative entities attached to it or negative energy attached to it. But I'm not scared of anything. I don't care. And I don't think you should either. You believe in your tool, you believe in your deck. If anything, these malicious spirits should be scared of coming here, because I can burn them. I can literally burn them in the spirit realm. I can use my dark energy and they can literally become spirit ash, like literally. And I know what I'm saying sounds crazy, but I've done it before. So they're not gonna be here, and the more you believe in yourself and in your power, your tools, the tools you use, all the decks you use and the tools you use, they're gonna be untouchable. You shouldn't worry about that. So yeah, this is the session. I'm sorry for earlier. Like, I know this is part 2, part 1. So I think something happened within the connection. Something happened in the connection. It was cut for some reason. It was abruptly cut. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's internet connection or whatever happened, but it was a very. I sensed a weird vibe. By the way, I think it was something more than internet connection. I don't know what happened there. I sensed a weird vibe when that happened, when that cut happened. So that's why I decided to do this part 2, but I'm gonna leave both part 1 and part 2. They're gonna be on my channel. I think together they form about an hour and a half. Yeah, that's basically today's live. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it. And let's see, maybe I'll pull one card for you guys. Let me pull one. I'm gonna pull one card for the viewers right now, just as a collective message. Okay. Let's see here. Just one card for all of you guys. Okay, let's see. Okay. so we got it's good but also not good. Okay, so for the viewers here, we got the Empress card, which is a major arcana. It's an amazing card, but it's reversed. It's an Empress card, but it's reversed. So what does that mean here? It means that all of you, the watchers right now, all of you guys, you guys are watching this for a reason. You're watching it because you're meant to be tarot readers, because your potential is to be an empress, is to be an emperor. You know, as I mentioned in my first video, this is very intimidating, especially for guys to embrace, especially for guys. Regardless, I don't care about your gender, what you consider yourself. I'm talking about just from a biological look, right? From a but I don't care, regardless of what your gender is or whatever, because for me that doesn't even matter when it comes to this field. But I see mostly it's just girls doing this because of how society is conditioning humans to see this field. They don't want people to embrace who they really are. They want everyone to be basically just followers, just following everything or following what's out there, following someone. So you guys are meant to be tarot readers, and your potential is unbelievable because the Empress card came up. This is your potential. Empress card, one of the wisest, one of the most knowledgeable, one of the most badass major arcanas. You can have the whole world. You can have the whole spirit realm within your hands if you want to. And tarot is for you. It is for you. You believe in it. It's your tool. But you just have to do the work. You have to practice. You have to research. You have to read. Practice, practice, practice. Basically, everything I mentioned in this live. And that's why the card is reversed, because you're not there yet. But it's your potential. So you guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. The whole world is ahead of you. The whole universe is ahead of you. There's so much more for you to uncover, to learn, to discover. And it's going to be an amazing journey, because at the end of your journey, you're there. Amazing, amazing. So it's very good, but it comes with a price, and that price is practicing. It's doing the work. That's the price. You practice, you do the work. All right, guys. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for joining, for being here with me in this live, and I will see you in another live or another video. And I wish you an amazing time wherever you are in the world. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.